The only guide showing you how to complete all 24 side Easter eggs on Black Ops 6 Zombies Terminus. From a free Perkaholic by round 12, and a cuddly toy pet that fights for you and revives you, to a Meteor crashing on an island and a newly discovered way to bribe Peck for 5,000 points. We'll start with the last Easter egg to be discovered, as the other guides don't cover it and it's probably the most broken on the list. This side Easter egg gives you every perk in the game as early as round 12. To do this, you need to find red fish in the shallow water around the map. The fish will cause a splashing animation on the surface of the water, which makes them easier to spot. You need to blow these fish up using explosives. You can use lethals such as a frag grenade or Semtex, or you can use explosive rounds. Concussion grenades also work. If successful, loot will pop up from the fish spot. In total, you need to blow up 50 fish. The fishing spots can contain more than one fish. Every bit of loot it spits out is equal to one fish, so in this example, I blew up 2 fish. Tracking the loot is the easiest way to keep count. The fish have several spawn locations. They include in the water at Biolab, underneath the sea tower, on Crab Island, and around and underneath the ship. Here's a map showing the route I used if you want to pause. If there are no more spawns, progress the round. New fish will spawn in. Once you have blown up 50 fish, Perkaholic will automatically be applied to your character. If you're in a squad, only the player who blew up the 50 fish will get Perkaholic. If you save and quit, you'll lose your perks. But don't worry, simply blow up a fish or two and they'll come back. The other recent Easter egg discovery also involves the red fish. When you build the beam smasher, Peck will allow you to skip the math step for a hefty sum of 5,000 points. This Easter egg allows you to get those 5,000 points refunded, which is huge. After you've spent the 5,000 points with Peck, find a red fish on the map and blow it up. Hold interact on the fish to pick it up. You won't get a notification or a sound, but holding interact will pick the fish up. Next, head to the mess hall near spawn. Next to the frying pan will be oil. Hold interact to pick it up. Next, interact with the pan, which will add the oil. Interacting with the pan again will add the fish and it'll start frying. Progress to the next round and the fish will have finished cooking. Select take fried fish from the menu and run back up to spawn to Peck. Add the fish to the deposit box and Peck will award you with 5,000 points. This next Easter egg involves a treasure hunt to find a talisman that grants you permanent double points for the rest of the game, with a catch. You'll need 2 things to do this. First, buy melee macchiato and then craft either 3 molotovs or 3 thermo grenades. You'll then need to head to the sea caves, which is the tunnel system with speed cola inside. At this rock formation, use your melee macchiato to punch it and smash it open. You'll see a map inside that has a red X on it. This location changes every game, so mark it on your minimap. Head to that location and in the water you'll find a watch. Pick up the watch and return to the map in the cave. Press interact and you'll give the watch to the skeleton captain. Wait for him to finish yapping and the map will update with 3 more X's. These positions are the same for everybody. Location 1 is Castle Rock Island. Take a right at the gobblegum machine and you'll find a skeleton next to the electrical cable. Throw your fire-based lethal at the skeleton to burn its corpse. This will cause a high value target to spawn in. These are essentially manglers on steroids. Make this easier for yourself by doing this at the end of the round. Defeating the HVT will drop a cursed coin that you need to pick up. Location 2 is on Temple Island. You'll find the skeleton you need to burn on the temple's stone steps. Take down the HVT again and you get your second cursed coin. Pick that up and lastly you'll need to head to the ship. The last skeleton can be found at the base of the mast of the ship. Defeat the 3rd HVT, grab your coin, and head back to the skeleton captain. Return the coins and he'll spit out several gold weapons, which is nice, especially considering this is not the end of the Easter egg. He'll give you a riddle, but essentially you just need to progress 3 rounds. You will know when you're on the correct round when you look over to Crab Island and there's a new storm above it. Head over to Crab Island, but be warned, the lightning strikes will stun you. There should now be a gold chest on the island which, when opened, will give you the cursed talisman. Equipping this talisman does 2 things. You'll now get permanent double points for killing zombies, which is huge. However, here's the curse part. When you get hit by a zombie and the talisman procs, you'll lose points. You will be able to tell when the talisman procs as your screen will flash blue. Don't worry though, there is a short cooldown so a horde of zombies can't drain all of your points. The best thing about the cursed talisman is that the double points stack with the double points power-ups. That means some rounds you'll be getting quadruple points. This side Easter egg can bag you 8,000 points for getting a basketball in a hoop. The only thing you need is a pack-a-punch gun. This is 10 times easier with an explosive weapon like the GS45. To do this side Easter egg, stand on the box between living quarters and engineering. Aim around here and fire an explosive round. For regular rounds, you'll need to jump shot the ball and there is a chance it'll miss the hoop. You'll know you've hit the ball if you get a hit marker. Run through to the rec yard and you'll see the ball go into the hoop. After some fireworks, the hoop will spit out 2,000 points. But there are some tricks we can do to get this up to 8,000 points. If you're wearing the cursed talisman that gives you permanent double points, the hoop will spit out 4,000 points instead of 2,000. But we can double that again. There's a double points power up in Biolab on top of this filing cabinet. Throw a C4 on the power up but don't detonate it. Run back up to the boxes and detonate the C4 to activate your double points. Now when the ball goes through the hoop and you pick up the points, you'll get 8,000 points. Just make sure the double points power up is active when you pick up the points. Next, in the living quarters, there's a pool table. Shoot any ball on the table and you'll be given 100 points. If you have double points active, 200 points. This next Easter egg grants you a pet companion called Mega Stuffy that follows you around, attacking zombies and reviving you when you are knocked. To get him, you need to find 6 stuffed animals around the map. The first is in the control center next to stamina, hiding in the lockers. Either interact with the unicorn or shoot it. The second is a monkey that's hidden on the bridge between engineering and sea tower. The elephant can be found in the mining tunnels near the gobblegum machine. At Biolab, there's a bear on one of the lab stations between the 3-plate armor and the crafting table. The next stuffed animal is on the boat, hiding in the right corner of this red container. And lastly, the giraffe can be found on Crab Island next to the light between the crafting table and the 762 wall buy. Once you've collected them all, go up to the living quarters and interact with any of the stuffed animals on the beds. They'll all start floating towards the middle of the room and combine to form Mega Stuffy. Your new pet will fight for you, but he's very weak. He does do a pretty good job of knocking zombies down, but the best thing about Mega Stuffy is that he'll revive you infinitely. In solos, you'll need to make sure you have a self-revive, but he has unlimited revives while he's active. And I know what you're thinking, but no, sadly you can't take Mega Stuffy into the final boss fight. He doesn't last forever either. After a few minutes, he'll disappear. This Easter egg offers a way to fast travel back to spawn with the Beam Smasher. On Temple Island, you can find the Sentinel Artifact Rune. If you use the Beam Smasher's alternate fire mode on the rune, which I believe defaults to left trigger and right click, then you'll be teleported back to spawn. A nice little time saver. This side Easter egg involves shooting a meteor out of the sky that will hit the map, dropping high tier loot including the ray gun and Beam Smasher. This takes no time to complete and can be done quite early into the game, but first you'll need to turn on the power. Then you'll need to add dead wire to your weapon. I recommend a long range weapon. Head to the platform next to the interrogation room door by and look up. You'll see a radio tower. You need to shoot this tower with dead wire until you see a lightning effect and the red light at the top turns on. When it does, you're now on a timer. Head down to the boxes between living quarters and engineering and you'll see a second tower. Shoot this tower with dead wire until you see the red light turn on. If successful and within the time limit, both lights will stay on permanently. If you fail, don't worry. It resets and you can keep trying until both the red lights stay on. Now this is important. You need to progress to the next round. When you're on that next round, head to the gun platform. Wait for the zombies to start spawning, then activate the void cannon trap. Keep an eye on the laser in the sky and you'll notice it causes an explosion. You'll then see a meteor streak through the sky. It will land on a small sandbank on Castle Rock Island. It can drop points, salvage, score streaks, ammo mods and more. If you've been blessed by the RNG gods, you can even get the ray gun or the Beam Smasher. This side Easter egg involves killing helpless zombies in cages to get yourself a free random perk. In Biolab, next to the crafting table and 3-plate armor, there are several cages with zombies inside. You will need to kill all the zombies so that the cages are empty at the end of the round. Once done, progress the round. Vermin will now spawn in the cages. Repeat the process, killing the vermin until the cages are empty, then progress the round. On the third round, a mangler will spawn in the cage. Just a warning, this guy isn't so helpless as he can still use his cannon. Defeat the mangler and a free random perk power-up will spawn in. This side Easter egg lets you participate in a boat race around the Terminus map to win some great rewards including the wonder weapons. To start this Easter egg, you need to find a red flashing boat on the map. There are 3 possible spawns for this boat which I've marked on this map. The first is at Castle Rock Island in the water to the right of the gobblegum machine. The second boat location is Temple Island. Head to the wall by and use this stone pillar as a marker for where to jump into the sea. The last boat can be found on Crab Island. Go to the beach nearest the Armour wall by and swim right until you can find it. Activate the red flashing boat and you'll be put into the minigame. If you're in a squad, you will all need to vote to enter the minigame. The objective is pretty simple. You need to drive through the checkpoints, collecting essence along the way for additional points. You'll need to dodge the tentacles and bodies in the water trying to slow you down. Use your speed boost to improve your time. Depending on your position, time, and score at the end, you'll be given either a gold, silver, or bronze trophy containing loot. Naturally, the gold trophy gives you the highest chance of getting a good reward such as a wonder weapon. I believe this Easter egg can be repeated every 5 rounds by heading to a different boat location on the map, if it's flashing red. This side Easter egg gets you a random perk power up and other rewards such as ether crystals for destroying spores. Around the map there are a bunch of small islands. One of these islands will have spores all over it. In a single round, destroy all of these spores on the island. Destroying these spores will spawn parasites, which when killed can be a nice source of points and salvage. You'll know you've successfully destroyed all the spores on an island when the ground shakes and you'll hear a noise. After it's cleared, you will need to progress the round. You will need to do this for 3 islands in total, progressing the round each time after you clear the island. Destroying all the spores on a single island also resets the Kraken's timer and stops the gas from chasing you while you're in or on the water. And here's a bonus tip: you can actually reset the Kraken's timer without progressing the round. Just jump on land while the gas is chasing you and wait for 45 seconds. Once you've cleared 3 islands of spores, progress the round one more time and then head to the sea caves. The sea caves will now be covered in spores that you need to destroy. Destroying all of them will complete the Easter egg and you'll get your loot. And just so it's super clear, here are the instructions on screen. This next Easter egg gets you an oxygen tank that lets you breathe underwater for much longer, which is handy for a different Easter egg. To get the oxygen tank, head to the biolab and enter the water at the bottom of the incline lift. That's the one with the pack-a-punch. Find this rock and throw an explosive such as a frag grenade or a semtex at it. You can also use explosive rounds. If successful, the rock will move, revealing the oxygen tank. Hold interact and you'll notice your breath meter refill. You'll now be able to stay underwater for a pretty long time. This side Easter egg involves hunting for underwater crates that actually contain some great loot, including the ray gun. If you find them all, there's a secret reward. Dotted around the shallow waters of Terminus are a bunch of underwater chests. They're easy to spot as they have a glowing light on the front. These crates contain high tier loot including wonder weapons, essence, perks, ammo mods, score streaks, and more. The spawns for these crates change each game, but search any shallow waters including biolab, sea tower, the beaches on the 3 small islands, and underneath the ship. You don't need it, but some crates are easier to get if you have the oxygen tank we've already covered. If you collect all the boxes in your game, you'll be given a free random perk power up. Next, there's a cooking side Easter egg that gets you an achievement and a super powered ammo mod for a limited time. To do this, you'll need 2 key ingredients. First, oil. You can find that next to the frying pan in the mess hall. Second, you will need a fish. To get one, blow up a fish pile in the shallow waters. When you've blown up the fish, hold interact to pick one of them up. Next, you need some ingredients. There are 5 different ingredients dotted around the map. First, the can of chili that gives you a boosted napalm burst. This is in the mess hall between the boxes of cabbages. There is a snowball that gives you boosted cryo freeze. This is in the living quarters on top of the fridge, next to the pool table. There is a brain that gives you boosted brain rot. This is in biolab on one of the scales after exiting the sea caves. There is a plant that gives you boosted shadow rift. This is in a grass patch between the mess hall and the interrogation room. And lastly, there's a battery that gives you boosted dead wire. This is in engineering next to the crafting table close to spawn. When you have at least 1 ingredient from the list, head back to the frying pan in the mess hall. Interact with the pan to add the oil. Interact again to add the fish. Then interact to add your secret ingredient depending on which ammo mod you want to boost. You then need to let the fish cook by progressing 1 round. Now you'll be able to eat the fish and boost your ammo mod for roughly 30 seconds, which frankly isn't great. But a few interesting things not covered in other guides. This is repeatable. The ingredients respawn on the map, allowing you to do this across multiple rounds. Also, you can use both frying pans at the same time to unlock 2 boosted ammo mods in a single round. And lastly, a warning. You will burn the fish if you progress more than 1 round without picking up your fish from the pan. This Easter egg involves a crab whack-a-mole minigame that will give you a free perk, rare weapon, and a bunch of points very early into the game. First, head to Crab Island. You need to throw a lethal at this crab cage perched on the rocks above this hole. If successful, crabs will fall from the trees and appear on the sand next to you. Melee the crabs and you'll be given a baseball bat and a 30-second timer will start. Basically, you need to whack as many crabs as you can in 30 seconds. My only tip is to hit the crabs that pop up first and last to maximize your chances of getting 2 crabs per wave. Hit enough crabs and you'll be given a random perk. I got Juggernog. There are 2 more sets of crabs on the island. Head to the Armour wall-by and go left to the beach for the next set of crabs. Completing this minigame gives you a random blue weapon. Lastly, go back to the Armour wall buy and look directly opposite to find the last set of crabs. Completing this set gives you a chunk of points. Next, there are 7 free power-ups around the map. First is max ammo. To get it, throw a lethal or fire an explosive round into the window of the guard tower directly opposite the spawn building. You can also shoot the max ammo using this angle from the rec yard. Next, double points. Head to Biolabs and up into the office room with the mystery box and you'll find it hidden amongst some boxes on the filing cabinet. To get a nuke, go to Crab Island and head towards the 3-plate. Tucked away in the zombie spawn hole, there's a nuke that you need to shoot. Next is bonus points. You can find this by standing at the front of the ship and looking in the furthest right top window. Next is Instakill. This one is on Temple Island above the stone steps. This is helpful for taking down one of the 3 Talisman HVTs. Max armor can be found in the interrogation room near spawn. Look through the zombie fence and shoot the power up on top of the barrel. Full power is located on the underside of the C tower hidden in a steel beam. This Easter egg is a bit different as there's no reward, unless you call scaring your friends a reward. Grab your lovable victim and head to the elevator in spawn. This only works going down, so don't try this from Biolab. Right before it starts moving, everybody in the elevator needs to jump repeatedly. If everybody inside is in the air at the right time, you'll trigger the Easter egg. The elevator will begin to descend slowly, showing you some creepy stuff on the walls. Yep, that says help in flesh. But the best bit is this moment straight out of Hollywood Tower of Terror. Lastly, here's how to activate the Easter egg song Can You Hear Me on Terminus. You need to find 3 pairs of headphones dotted around the map. The first can be found just down from spawn near the living quarters. The second pair is right next to PhD Flopper in the mining tunnels. The last is in the raised office area of Biolab opposite the double points power up. When you pick up the last pair of headphones, the song will start playing.